The temple in Jerusalem was the holiest place on earth for the Jewish people. It was the house of God. People traveled long distances to worship there, to offer sacrifices and to feel close to their Creator. The temple represented something pure, something sacred. It was a place of peace, prayer and reverence, a place where God's presence was felt. People came to the temple seeking forgiveness, guidance and hope. They came to connect with the divine. One day, Jesus arrived in Jerusalem, a city bustling with life and energy. It was the Passover festival, a time of great celebration and joy. The streets were alive with the sounds of laughter and music. The city was crowded with pilgrims from far and wide, all gathered to partake in the sacred festivities. Jesus made his way to the temple, the heart of the city's spiritual life. What he saw there shocked him to his core. His eyes widened in disbelief. The outer court, meant for prayer and reflection, was filled with noise and chaos. It was a scene of utter disorder. Merchants were selling animals for sacrifice, their voices loud and intrusive. Money changers were exchanging currencies, their tables piled high with coins. The air was thick with the stench of animals, a pungent mix that overwhelmed the senses. People were haggling over prices, their voices rising in heated arguments. Greed and commerce had replaced piety and worship. Jesus' heart sank as he observed the scene. This was supposed to be God's house, a place of reverence and awe, a sanctuary for the faithful. Instead, it had become a den of thieves, a place where sacredness was overshadowed by greed. A fire ignited within Jesus. He felt a righteous anger at what he saw. This was an insult to his Father, a desecration of the holy temple. He grabbed some cords and fashioned a whip. With a loud voice, he overturned the tables of the money changers, sending coins scattering across the floor. "Get out of here," he roared. "Stop making my Father's house a marketplace." His disciples watched in amazement. They had never seen him so angry, so passionate. Fear and wonder. In the bustling marketplace of the ancient temple, merchants and money changers went about their daily business, unaware of the storm that was about to descend upon them. The merchants and money changers were stunned. Their faces reflected a mix of shock and disbelief as they witnessed the unexpected turn of events. They cowered before Jesus' fury. Fear gripped their hearts as they realized the gravity of their actions. The once bustling marketplace was now a scene of chaos and confusion. The crowd parted as Jesus, filled with righteous anger, drove out the animals and those who defiled the temple. His presence was commanding, and none dared to oppose him. His actions spoke louder than words. With every decisive move, he made it clear that the temple was a sacred place, not to be tarnished by greed and corruption. This was his Father's house, and he would not tolerate its desecration. His unwavering stance was a testament to his devotion and reverence for the sacred space. A hush fell over the temple. The silence was profound, as if the very walls of the temple were absorbing the gravity of the moment. People looked on in fear and wonder. Their eyes were wide with amazement, and their hearts pounded with a mix of emotions. Who was this man who dared to challenge the established order? His actions left an indelible mark on their minds, forever changing their perception of righteousness and justice. A lesson for all time. This chapter delves into a profound moment in history that carries a message for all generations. Jesus' cleansing of the temple was a powerful act. It was not just a moment of anger, but a demonstration of his deep commitment to spiritual purity. It showed his love for his Father's house. The temple was a sacred place meant for worship and connection with God. It revealed his hatred for hypocrisy and greed. Jesus could not stand to see the holy place being used for selfish purposes. This event teaches us that our places of worship are sacred. They are meant to be sanctuaries of peace and reverence. They are not for personal gain or worldly pursuits. The temple should not be a marketplace, but a place of spiritual reflection. They are for prayer, reflection, and connecting with God. It is a place where we can find solace and seek divine guidance. Jesus' actions remind us to keep our own hearts clean. Just as he cleansed the temple, we must cleanse our hearts of impurities. To put God first in our lives, our devotion should be sincere and free from any form of hypocrisy. To make sure that our worship is genuine and sincere. True worship comes from a heart that is fully devoted to God. The cleansing of the temple is a timeless message. It calls us to examine our own lives and ensure that we are living in a way that honors God. It is a call to honor God in all that we do. Let us strive to keep our places of worship and our hearts pure, dedicated solely to Him. Subscribe, like and share.